Imagine this. Before the sun lifts above the horizon, before your phone buzzes with alerts, before a single voice from the outside enters your world, you already won. Not someday, not when the timing is right, right now, because the second you open your eyes, you are at a crossroads. And in that quiet, unclaimed moment of awakening, your destiny is already unfolding. How do I know? Because the most unstoppable individuals in history, from Oprah Winfrey to Arnold Schwarzenegger, didn't stumble into greatness. They built it, brick by brick, choice by choice, starting in the solitude of morning when no one else was watching. It's not about motivation. It's about motion. It's not about hype. It's about habit. That early hour, before the noise, is sacred. And what you choose to do with it is not just a routine. It's a declaration. A declaration that says, I decide who I become. Not luck. Not the headlines. Not my inbox. Me. This is the zone of champions. Before Martin Luther King Jr. gave speeches that echoed through time, he spent his mornings in silent reflection. Before Elon Musk launched rockets, he launched intention. Before Serena Williams owned the court, she owned her focus at dawn. This is the shift. This is the moment. When you rise with clarity, the world doesn't lead you. You lead it. You become the author, not the audience. You stop chasing life and start shaping it. And here's the best part. You don't need a perfect morning. You need a powerful one. Even 5 minutes can be a revolution. Speak out loud the person you're becoming. Write your intention before the day tries to write it for you. Move your body, even if it's just stretching. Breathe deep, not out of stress, but out of self-command. The truth: most people start their day in surrender. They react. They scroll. They absorb the world before creating their own. But not you. You're not here to absorb. You're here to emit, to radiate, to lead with presence, even in silence. Because presence is not about how loud you are. It's about how grounded you feel. So take back your morning. Reclaim your rhythm. Your future self, the version of you that others admire, follow, and remember, is forged right here in the first decision you make after waking. The decision to own your mindset. The decision to rise with purpose. The decision to act before the day acts on you. And once you win that moment, the rest of the day doesn't control you. It bows to you. If I could stand beside you for just 1 hour after you wake, I wouldn't need a crystal ball to predict your future. Why? Because that 1 hour is everything. It's a reflection not just of what you do, but who you are becoming. Your morning doesn't lie. It mirrors your priorities. It amplifies your identity. It echoes your commitment, or exposes your hesitation. Think about it. The world's most driven leaders don't start their day by reacting to noise. They start by aligning with their inner compass. Before Malala spoke to global leaders, she started in stillness. Before Dwayne Johnson crushed any workout, he had already conquered indecision. Before J.K. Rowling created magical worlds, she mastered the art of morning writing, not for fame, but for focus. These aren't random habits. They're intentional rituals. And yours doesn't have to look like theirs. It just has to be yours, designed by you, driven by meaning, protected by purpose. So let's flip the script. Most people rise to a ringtone, not a reason. They check headlines before checking in with themselves. They let urgency rob them of clarity, but not you. You will begin before the world begins. You'll train your mind before opinions invade it. You'll remind your soul, I am not a passenger. I am the pilot, because that is what self-leaders do. They don't wait to feel ready. They act as if they are, and that belief builds reality. The secret isn't in doing more. The secret is in doing what matters first. The first action of your day is your anchor. Whether it's a cold shower, a quiet walk, a deep breath, or a simple thank you whispered into the stillness, it sets the tone. It's not about difficulty. It's about identity. When you do something hard in the morning, you don't just build willpower. You confirm to your subconscious, this is who I am. I don't flinch under pressure. I rise in it. That's how momentum starts. One decision, one action, one inner victory that no one sees, but that everyone will feel when you walk in the room. You're not just building habits. You're building evidence. Evidence that supports the kind of person you say you are. And with enough evidence, belief becomes unshakable. This is why that first hour matters more than the rest. It's not about having time. It's about claiming authority. Because if you don't choose your focus, the world will choose it for you. And the world is loud. The world is fast. The world is unpredictable. But your foundation, your morning, can be steady, slow, and strong. So ask yourself, what's the first thought I want to believe? What's the first step I want to take? What's the first version of me I want to step into? Then do that. Say it. Feel it. Be it before breakfast. Because the version of you that changes the game is born before the game even begins. Let's get something straight. Achievement isn't magic. It's math. One clear goal. One precise move. One bold step. That's the formula. Not 10 scattered tasks. Not a day filled with busy work. One intentional win to set the tone, and your whole life shifts direction. Every titan of success, from Jeff Bezos to Novak Djokovic, learn this secret early. Success is not in doing everything. It's in doing what moves the mission. So let me ask you, what's your strike point? What's that single result that, if accomplished today, makes everything else easier or even irrelevant? Start there. Most people wake up and drown in decisions. They let notifications, emails, errands yank them in every direction. By sunset, they're drained. Not because they worked hard, but because they worked without aim. Not you. You will wake with a target in your sights. You will write it down. Say it out loud. Picture it done. Not because it's trendy, because it's transformative. The moment you define your day, distractions lose their grip. You're not tempted by every offer. You're not swayed by every ping. You're grounded by a mission only you can fulfill. And once you've got that clarity, you move. You strike. You advance. No more hesitation. You don't need to climb the whole staircase. You need one strong step. Then the next one becomes obvious. Momentum multiplies. Confidence compounds. The path unfolds beneath your feet. One win becomes two. Two become five. And before you know it, you're not just achieving goals. You're becoming unrecognizable from who you were. This is the edge. This is what separates those who drift through the day from those who direct it. People will ask how you stay so focused. They'll wonder why you're always calm under pressure. The answer? Because you already won, before they even started. Your morning is your momentum engine. One meaningful goal. One aligned action. One undeniable win that tells your mind, we're moving. We're building. We're unstoppable. So don't chase everything. Don't wake up overwhelmed. Wake up with intention. Decide on that one needle-moving action. Make it your mission. Protect it like a sacred promise. And execute like your future depends on it, because it does. The world doesn't reward the busiest. It rewards the boldest. And boldness begins with a single, strategic decision, repeated every morning, until it becomes your identity. The words you whisper to yourself each morning, they matter more than you know, not just as affirmations, as activation, because language isn't neutral. It's creative. It constructs your reality, thought by thought, phrase by phrase. And most people, they speak limitations into existence before they even leave the bed. I'm so tired. I've got too much to do. It's going to be a rough one. Guess what happens next? Their life aligns with that language. Their energy follows their expectations. Their confidence echoes their confession. But not you. You're not here to repeat defeat. You're here to declare victory, to speak with power, before the world has a chance to drain it. Because the first words you speak each day, Those are seeds. And you don't want to plant weeds. You want to plant giants. So start your morning like this. I am focused. I am powerful. I create peace and impact everywhere I go. This isn't fantasy. It's frequency. When your subconscious hears strength, it shifts your physiology. Your body responds. Your habits respond. Your life responds. The brain doesn't filter out doubt. It just believes what's repeated. That's why your declarations are not optional. They are essential. You are the architect. Your voice is the blueprint. And the best builders, they don't just build outside. They construct belief systems inside. Think of it like this. Every sentence is a step toward the future you desire, or a detour into the life you're trying to outgrow. And the most successful leaders don't wait for external validation. They speak alignment into their mornings. They define their value, their vision, their vibration, before anyone else gets a chance. So talk like someone who owns the room. Talk like someone who already is the future version they've imagined. This isn't ego. It's alignment. It's telling your nervous system, your habits, your heart, we're already on the way. And from that place of identity, decisions are easier. Boundaries are sharper. Focus is deeper. You are not just waking up. You are waking up your potential. And every time you speak strength, you water that potential. So say it out loud. Say who you are. Say who you're becoming. Say what you're building. Not with hesitation, but with conviction. Because your future listens to your voice. And it follows the words you're brave enough to say first. Here's the truth they don't teach in school. Your body is the ignition switch for your mind. The way you move determines how you think. And if you start your morning in motion, you set your entire day on fire. This isn't about fitness. It's about frequency. It's about choosing activity that activates. Not just your muscles, but your mindset. Every top performer knows this. From Simone Biles to Richard Branson, movement is part of their mental preparation. Not because they're chasing perfection, but because they're chasing presence. Your physiology writes your psychology. Slumped shoulders produce self-doubt. Shallow breath invites chaos. But tall posture, expanded lungs, a strong step forward, that tells your brain, we're alive. We're ready. Let's lead. This is why morning movement is sacred. It's the ritual that reconnects you to your power. You don't need a gym. You need a decision. A brisk walk. 10 minutes of stretching. A quick burst of jumping jacks. Push-ups while the coffee brews. What matters is not the routine. It's the resolve. Every drop of sweat, every conscious breath, every flex of resistance becomes a signal to your entire being. We are in motion. We are in command. Because motion creates emotion. And emotion is energy, the fuel of your purpose, the drive behind your discipline. When you move first thing, clarity comes quicker. Confidence becomes natural. Doubt struggles to keep up with your pace. That's why high achievers don't wait for motivation. They trigger it. They move before they feel ready. They act their way into action. And with each repetition, they reinforce identity. Not, I work out, but I don't sit still in hesitation. Not, I go for a walk, but I carry momentum before the world even stirs. You're not just breaking a sweat. You're breaking patterns. You're telling the version of you who used to procrastinate, not anymore. You're rewriting the script, from passive to powerful, from stalled to unstoppable. Because when you move differently, you live differently. People will feel it. In the way you stand, speak, show up. They'll sense a shift, even if they can't name it. And the shift began when you took that first step, before breakfast, before the noise. So make your morning a movement, not just of the body, but of your spirit. Wake up the warrior. Awaken your discipline. Activate the version of you that doesn't wait for change, but creates it. You don't need hours. You need intensity. And once you move, everything else moves with you. There's a moment right between sleep and full awareness, where your mind is wide open, clear, unguarded, deeply receptive. It's a fragile window, and in that brief space, you get to make the most important choice of the day. Will you guide your mind, or let the noise take over? This is where true leaders are made, not in front of cameras, not on stages, but in silence, in solitude, before anyone else is awake. The quiet minute after you open your eyes is your advantage, because in that minute, you are unshaped, not yet molded by headlines, emails, conversations, or stress. So use it, claim it. Before the world decides your worth, you declare it. Before the world gives you its demands, you give yourself direction. Ask, who do I need to be today to become the person I'm called to be tomorrow? That's not just a morning ritual. That's a life strategy. You're not defined by your tasks. You're defined by your identity. And identity is a decision, not a reaction. You get to choose. Will you move through the day with courage, or let comfort dictate your pace? Will you lead with vision, or react to circumstances? Will you serve from overflow, or stretch from emptiness? The world will always try to label you productive, overwhelmed, too much, not enough. But you are not a label. You are a force. And every morning, that force needs clarity, direction, intention. This is not about being perfect. It's about being present with your purpose. Your vision must lead your feelings, not the other way around. Because feelings are unpredictable. But vision is your compass. It cuts through the noise. It guides your steps when the fog rolls in. So stand in front of the mirror. Say who you are. Say who you're becoming. Say it like a leader. Say it like someone whose life is no longer random, but designed. Because from the moment you wake, you are influencing the world. Through your words, your posture, your presence. People around you will sense it. You're no longer reacting. You're responding with strength. You're no longer rushing. You're rising with rhythm. You're no longer guessing. You're grounded in identity. And when life tries to pull you off course, you return to that quiet moment you owned at the start. That moment of self-leadership becomes your anchor. And from that place, every room you enter shifts. Not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. This is your edge. Not more hustle, more harmony, not more pressure, more presence. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who know who they are and live it boldly. And that begins every single day with one decision: to lead yourself before anything else leads you.